The man never expected that he had simply spent 40 years quietly practicing swordsmanship in a beginner village. Yet one day, the entire kingdom would call him the Sword Saint. The reason was simple. Many of the students who once trained at his dojo had grown into legendary figures across the continent. Some became captains of knight orders, some became top-tier adventurers, and some even became royal guardian knights. So people naturally assumed anyone capable of teaching such monsters must be even more terrifying. But Jack himself felt awkward about the reputation. In his opinion, he had simply been lucky to teach a few talented students. The truly amazing people were them. However, the truth was the complete opposite. Those disciples who were now unmatched in the world still could not even see the speed of his sword. His swordsmanship had long reached the ultimate level of this world. And on this day, Jack was eating at home just like usual when someone suddenly knocked on the door. When he opened it, standing outside was his former student Sia, who had now become the captain of the kingdom's knight order. Sia explained why she came. Now she not only had to lead the knights, but also train new recruits. There was simply too much work for her to handle alone, so she recommended Jack to the king to become a special instructor for the knight order. Unexpectedly, the king actually agreed. Sia had come today to deliver the appointment letter. Jack froze on the spot. He was just a teacher from a small dojo in a beginner village. How could he possibly teach the kingdom's strongest knights? He was about to refuse, but suddenly his father got excited. He said seriously, "If you disobey the king's order, you might be executed. And if you refuse, it will embarrass me as your father. More importantly, there are plenty of girls in the city. With this position you might even find a wife." Yes, because all these years Jack had been busy rebuilding the family dojo. Before he knew it, he was nearly 40 and still single. This had worried his father for a long time, so he simply accepted the offer on Jack's behalf. Before leaving, he even reminded him, "When you go to the city this time, make sure you find a wife. For example, this female student in front of you would be perfect." Hearing that, Jack immediately panicked and quickly denied it. How could I do something like an old man chasing a young girl? And there is no way Sia would agree either. Saying things like that would make it really awkward. What Jack didn't know was that Sia had actually been secretly in love with him for a long time. He was the only one who had never noticed, since the decision had already been made. Jack could only bite the bullet and follow Sia to the city. After arriving at the knight order, Sia stood on stage and introduced Jack to the knights. Her tone was extremely serious. She said Jack was the strongest swordsman she had ever seen. Even she herself was far from his equal. Hearing this, Jack nearly fainted on the spot. There was no need to exaggerate like that. In his opinion, Sia had long since surpassed him, so he gave a very unconfident self-introduction. Such an attitude naturally made some knights dissatisfied. How could someone so ordinary receive such praise from the captain? After the meeting, Sia comforted Jack. The instructor job was actually very relaxed. He only needed to come 3 or 4 times a month. It would not interfere with running his dojo. Just as she finished speaking, another person rushed over. It was Jack's other female student Kaluni, who had also joined the knight order.
我々門弟が先生を盛り立てますので存分にご指導ください。